Look at your life right now, not the life you post on social media, not the life you pretend to live, the real life, the one you wake up to every morning. Are you where you thought you would be? Are you proud of what you have become? If you died tonight, would you be satisfied with the story you have written? These are not comfortable questions. They are not meant to be. They are meant to wake you up. Because here is the truth that nobody tells you. The truth that the gurus hide behind their courses and their webinars and their promises of overnight success. The truth that only matters. Success is not luck. It is not talent. It is not being born in the right family or going to the right school or knowing the right people. Success is a system. It is a science. It is a set of habits, mindsets, and actions that anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn, practice, and master. In the next hour, I am going to give you that system. I am going to tear down the myths that keep you stuck. I am going to show you what actually works, and I am going to challenge you to become the person you were meant to be. Let us begin. Welcome back to Only Truth Matters, the channel where we do not sugarcoat reality, where we tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. If you are tired of fake motivation and empty promises, hit that subscribe button right now. Today, we are not doing history. We are not doing politics. Today, we are doing you. We are doing the one thing that determines everything else in your life, your ability to succeed. I have studied hundreds of successful people. I have read thousands of books and articles. I have interviewed millionaires, athletes, artists, and entrepreneurs. And I have discovered that success leaves clues. There is a pattern. There is a system. There is a science. And today, I am going to share that system with you. This is not a quick fix. This is not a magic pill. This is the real work, the hard work, the work that separates the dreamers from the doers, the wishers from the warriors, the spectators from the champions. Are you ready? Let us go. The myth of overnight success. Let me start by destroying a myth that has ruined more lives than any other. The myth of the overnight success. Open your phone. Scroll through your feed. Every day, you see stories of 20-year-old billionaires, viral sensations who woke up famous, entrepreneurs who sold their startups for millions after 6 months of work. These stories are not lies. They are worse. They are half-truths. They show you the finish line while hiding the marathon. Behind every overnight success is a decade of invisible struggle. Blood, sweat, tears, failure, rejection, humiliation, doubt, and the relentless, stubborn, irrational refusal to give up. Let me give you an example. Colonel Sanders, the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken. He did not find success until he was 65 years old. Before that, he had been a farmer, a fireman, a steamboat operator, a salesman, and a gas station owner. He was fired from most of those jobs. When he finally created his secret recipe of 11 herbs and spices, he traveled across the United States, sleeping in his car, knocking on restaurant doors, offering to sell his recipe. He was rejected 1,009 times. 1,009 times. That is not a typo. On the 1,010th attempt, a restaurant owner said yes. Today, KFC has over 24,000 locations in more than 145 countries. What if Colonel Sanders had given up after 1,000 rejections? He would have died unknown and unsuccessful. But he did not give up. He believed in his recipe. He believed in himself. That is the truth about success. It is not a sprint. It is a marathon. It is not a lottery. It is a forge, and you are the metal. The truth about talent. Now let me tell you something that might make you uncomfortable. Talent is overrated. Do not misunderstand me. Talent exists. Some people are born with natural abilities that others lack, but talent without effort is wasted. Intelligence without action is useless. Natural ability without discipline is nothing. The psychologist Anders Ericsson studied violinists at a prestigious music academy. He divided them into 3 groups: the future world-class soloists, the very good players, and the mediocre players. What differentiated them was not natural talent. It was deliberate practice. By the age of 20, The world-class soloists had practiced an average of 10,000 hours. The good players had practiced about 8,000 hours. The mediocre players had practiced about 4,000 hours. 10,000 hours. That is about 3 hours of practice every single day for 10 years. Malcolm Gladwell popularized this as the 10,000-hour rule. The point is not that 10,000 hours is a magic number. The point is that excellence requires an enormous investment of time and effort. No one is born a great violinist. No one is born a great entrepreneur. No one is born a great anything. They become great through sustained, focused, often painful practice. So stop waiting for your talent to save you. It will not. Start working, start practicing, start grinding. The mindset that separates winners from losers. The psychologist Carol Dweck spent decades studying how people think about their own abilities. She discovered 2 fundamental mindsets. People with a fixed mindset believe that intelligence, talent, and ability are fixed traits. You are either smart or you are not. You are either talented or you are not. When they fail, they think, I am just not good at this. They avoid challenges because they fear looking stupid. They give up easily. People with a growth mindset believe that abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. When they fail, they think, I have not figured this out yet. They embrace challenges. They persist through setbacks. They see effort as the path to mastery. The difference is everything. Dweck studied students transitioning to junior high school, a difficult time when grades often drop. Students with a fixed mindset saw their grades drop and never recovered. They concluded they were not smart enough. Students with a growth mindset saw their grades drop and then improved, surpassing their previous performance. They saw the challenge as an opportunity to grow. You can change your mindset. You can train yourself to see failure as feedback, not as judgment. You can learn to love the struggle. Michaeljordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, said, I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. 26 times, I have been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. The greatest success stories are also the greatest failure stories. The difference is what they did next. The power of yet. One of the most powerful words in the English language is yet. I do not understand this yet. I have not succeeded yet. I am not where I want to be yet. That little word transforms failure from a permanent condition into a temporary state. It reminds you that you are on a journey. It gives you permission to struggle without giving up. Thomas Edison tried over 10,000 different materials before finding the right filament for the light bulb. 10,000 failures. But he did not see them as failures. He said, I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that will not work. Imagine the mindset. Every failed experiment was a step forward, not a step back. Every wrong answer eliminated a wrong path. That is the growth mindset in action. Add yet to your vocabulary. It will change everything. Discipline over motivation. Here is a hard truth. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days you wake up ready to conquer the world. Some days you wake up and want to stay under the covers. If you wait for motivation, you will never achieve anything significant. Success is built on discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Discipline is showing up on the days when you do not want to show up. Discipline is practicing your craft when you are tired, bored, frustrated, and doubting yourself. Jerry Seinfeld, one of the most successful comedians in history, used a simple method. He decided to write jokes every single day. He put a calendar on his wall. Every day he wrote, he put a big red X on that day. After a few days, he had a chain. His only goal was to not break the chain. The method is simple, but it works. Choose one habit that matters. Do it every day. Do not break the chain. Over time, the chain becomes its own motivation. You do not want to break the chain. You do not want to lose your streak. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. The compound effect of small actions. Darren Hardy wrote a book called The Compound Effect, based on a simple idea. Small, consistent actions, repeated over time, produce extraordinary results. If you improve by just 1% every day, by the end of the year you will be 37 times better. 1%. That is tiny, but compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. Read 10 pages of a good book every day. That is about 3,650 pages a year, about 30 to 40 books. In 10 years, that is 300 to 400 books. You will be a different person. Save $5 a day. That is $1,825 a year. Invested wisely, it grows. Small actions, big results. The problem is that the compound effect is invisible in the short term. You read for a week and notice no difference. You save for a month and see almost nothing. You work out for a month and barely see changes. So you quit. But the people who succeed are the ones who keep going when the results are invisible. Small actions, repeated consistently, produce extraordinary results. But you have to be patient. The 2-minute rule. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, suggests the 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Want to start exercising? Put on your workout clothes. That is it. Want to start reading? Read 1 page. Want to start writing? Write 1 sentence. The idea is to make the habit so easy that you cannot say no. Once you start, you will often continue. The hardest part is starting. The 2-minute rule lowers the barrier. Make it so easy you cannot say no. Fear is a liar. Fear is the greatest enemy of success. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of looking stupid, fear of what other people will think, fear of being judged. But here is the truth about fear. Fear is almost always a liar. It tells you that you are not good enough. It tells you that you will fail. It tells you that you will be humiliated. It tells you to stay small, stay safe, and not take risks. Almost everything you are afraid of will not happen. And if it does, you will survive. You will adapt. You will grow stronger. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "Do one thing every day that scares you. That is the antidote to fear." Action. Small, brave actions that expand your comfort zone. Fear is a liar. Do not believe everything you think. The rejection game. Jia Jiang is an entrepreneur who was terrified of rejection. To overcome his fear, he decided to play a game. For 100 days, he would deliberately seek rejection. He asked a stranger for $100. He asked to play soccer in a stranger's backyard. He asked to fly a plane. Most of his requests were rejected, but many were accepted. And more importantly, he lost his fear of rejection. He learned that rejection is not a reflection of his worth. It is just a no, and behind every no is a potential yes. Seek rejection. It will set you free. J.K. Rowling and the Power of Persistence. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, J.K. Rowling was a single mother living on welfare. She wrote the first Harry Potter book in cafes while her baby slept. She sent her manuscript to 12 publishers. 12 rejected her. The 13th publisher, Bloomsbury, only agreed because the CEO's 8-year-old daughter read the first chapter and demanded to read the rest. The rest is history. Rowling said, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." She did not let rejection define her. She kept sending. She kept believing. Rejection is not the end. It is just a redirection. Grit, the secret weapon. The psychologist Angela Duckworth studied students at West Point, salespeople, spelling bee champions, and teachers. She wanted to know what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. What she found surprised her. The most important factor was not IQ, not talent, not social intelligence, not physical fitness. It was grit. Grit is passion and perseverance for long-term goals. Grit is sticking with your future day in and day out, not just for the week, not just for the month, but for years. Grit is living life like a marathon, not a sprint. Duckworth developed the grit scale. People who scored higher consistently outperformed people with more talent but less grit. Talent is important, but effort counts twice. Talent times effort equals skill. Skill times effort equals achievement. The good news is that grit can be learned. You can develop a growth mindset. You can practice perseverance. You can learn to love the struggle. Grit matters more than talent, every single time. Find your why. Success without purpose is empty. You can have all the money, all the fame, all the awards, and still feel empty. That is why so many successful people are miserable. They climbed the ladder of success, only to find it was leaning against the wrong wall. Simon Sinek wrote a book called Start With Why. He argues that successful organizations and people start with a clear sense of purpose. They know why they do what they do. The why is the belief, the cause, the mission. The how is the process. The what is the result. Apple's why is to challenge the status quo and empower creative people, not to make computers. Your why is the question you must answer. Why do you wake up in the morning? What problem are you trying to solve? How do you want to impact the world? When you find your why, the hard work becomes meaningful. The struggles become worthwhile. The failures become lessons. Purpose is the fuel that keeps you going when motivation runs out. The importance of goals. Goals are the roadmap. Without them, you wander aimlessly. With them, you have direction, focus, and a way to measure progress. Specific goals work better than vague goals. I want to lose weight is vague. I want to lose 20 pounds in 3 months by exercising for 30 minutes a day and cutting out sugar is specific. Measurable goals work better than unmeasurable goals. How will you know when you have succeeded? What numbers will you track? Achievable goals work better than impossible goals. Stretch yourself, but be realistic. Losing 20 pounds in 3 months is achievable. Losing 20 pounds in a week is not. Relevant goals work better than irrelevant goals. Does this goal matter to you? Does it align with your values and purpose? Time-bound goals work better than open-ended goals. Deadlines create urgency. Without a deadline, you procrastinate. A goal without a deadline is just a wish. Systems over goals. Goals are important, but systems are more important. Goals tell you where you want to go. Systems tell you how you will get there. If you want to write a book, a goal is I will finish my book in 6 months. A system is I will write 500 words every morning before checking email. If you want to get fit, a goal is I will run a marathon. A system is I will run 3 times a week and gradually increase my distance. Focus on the system. The results will follow. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Protect your attention. Distractions are the enemy of deep work. Your phone buzzes, email pings, social media beckons. Each interruption breaks your focus. It takes an average of 23 minutes to regain focus after an interruption. Protect your attention like the precious resource it is. Turn off notifications. Schedule blocks of deep work. Close unnecessary tabs. Put your phone in another room. Cal Newport, author of Deep Work, argues that the ability to focus without distraction is becoming increasingly rare and therefore increasingly valuable. In a world of constant distraction, the focused few will dominate. Distraction is the thief of potential. Build your tribe. No one succeeds alone. Behind every successful person is a network of mentors, friends, family, and colleagues who supported them. Find mentors who have walked the path before you, read their books, listen to their podcasts, study their lives. If possible, reach out and ask for advice. Most successful people remember what it was like to be starting out. Surround yourself with people who believe in you. Avoid those who mock your dreams. Avoid those who say you cannot. Avoid those who project their own fears onto you. Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose your circle wisely." Show me your friends, and I will show you your future. Take care of your body and mind. Success is a marathon, not a sprint. You cannot burn out in the first mile. You need to maintain your physical and mental health for the long journey. Sleep is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Sleep deprivation impairs cognitive function, creativity, and decision-making. Prioritize sleep. Exercise is not an optional extra. It is a foundation. Exercise reduces stress, improves mood, increases energy, and enhances cognitive function. Find a form of exercise you enjoy and make it a habit. Meditation and mindfulness are not mystical woo-woo. They are proven tools for managing stress, improving focus, and increasing emotional resilience. Even 5 minutes a day makes a difference. Nutrition matters. What you eat affects your energy, your mood, and your brain function. Eat real food. Avoid processed junk. Your body and mind are your most valuable assets. Invest in them. Start before you are ready. The biggest mistake most people make is waiting to be ready. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait for more confidence. They wait for more knowledge. They wait for more money. They wait for a sign. Here is the secret. You will never feel ready. The perfect moment never comes. Confidence comes from action, not before action. Knowledge comes from doing, not from waiting. Start before you are ready. Launch before you are perfect. Share your work before you are confident. The feedback you receive will teach you more than any planning ever could. Seth Godin said, "Real artists ship. They finish their work and put it into the world. They do not wait for perfection. Perfection is the enemy of done." Ready or not, start now. Create your own luck. We all know someone who seems incredibly lucky. They were in the right place at the right time. They met the right person. They had the right idea at the right moment. But luck is not entirely random. You can create your own luck. You can position yourself to be in the right place at the right time. You can meet the right people. You can be ready when opportunity knocks. The psychologist Richard Weissman studied lucky and unlucky people. He found that lucky people share certain traits. They are more open to new experiences. They talk to more people. They are less anxious. They see the positive side of negative events. His advice is to maximize your chances of luck by increasing your surface area. Talk to strangers. Go to events outside your comfort zone. Try new things. Say yes more often. Louis Pasteur famously said, "Chance favors the prepared mind." You cannot control when opportunity arrives, but you can control whether you are ready when it does. Preparation is the bridge between luck and success. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. The power of gratitude. Gratitude is not just a nice sentiment. It is a powerful tool for success. Grateful people are happier, healthier, more resilient, and more productive. Why? Because gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. It rewires your brain to notice the positive. It reduces stress and improves sleep. It strengthens relationships. Keep a gratitude journal. Every night, write down 3 things you are grateful for. They can be small: a good cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, a beautiful sunset. Over time, this practice will transform your outlook. Gratitude turns what you have into enough. The power of visualization. Elite athletes use visualization. Before a competition, they mentally rehearse every movement, every decision, every outcome. They see themselves succeeding. They feel the emotions of victory. Visualization works because your brain cannot fully distinguish between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. When you visualize, you build neural pathways that prepare you for actual performance. Close your eyes, see yourself achieving your goals, see yourself overcoming obstacles, feel the emotions, make it vivid, then go out and do the work. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. The power of no. You cannot say yes to everything. Every yes to a distraction is a no to your priorities. Every yes to a low-value activity is a no to a high-value activity. Learn to say no. Say no to meetings that do not matter. Say no to requests that drain your energy. Say no to opportunities that do not align with your goals. Warren Buffett said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." Saying no to the good allows you to say yes to the great. Lessons from the greatest success stories. Let me now distill the key lessons from hundreds of success stories into 5 principles. First, embrace failure. Every successful person on this list failed, repeatedly, spectacularly, publicly. They were rejected, humiliated, laughed at, and counted out. But they did not let failure define them. They used failure as fuel. They learned from every setback. They got back up every time they were knocked down. Second, work harder than anyone. There is no substitute for hard work. Talent without work is wasted. Intelligence without effort is useless. Luck without preparation is meaningless. Successful people work harder than anyone. They wake up earlier. They stay later. They practice when no one is watching. They do the work that others avoid. Third, never stop learning. The world changes rapidly. Skills become obsolete. Industries transform. If you stop learning, you fall behind. Successful people are lifelong learners. They read constantly. They take courses. They seek feedback. They are curious about everything. Fourth, believe in yourself. When no one else believes in you, you must believe in yourself. When the world doubts you, you must trust your vision. When everyone says it is impossible, you must see that it is possible. You are the only person who can write your story. You are the only person who can decide how it ends. Fifth, help others. Success is not a zero-sum game. Your success does not come at the expense of others. In fact, helping others succeed is one of the most effective ways to succeed yourself. Share what you learn. Mentor others. Lift as you climb. Build a network of people who help each other. The story of Jackma. Let me tell you about Jackma. Jackma is the founder of Alibaba, one of the largest companies in the world, worth hundreds of billions of dollars. He is one of the richest people on earth, but here is what they do not show you in the highlight reel. Jack Ma was born in 1964 in Hangzhou, China, to poor parents who were traditional storytellers. He grew up during China's Cultural Revolution, a time of chaos and poverty. He took the college entrance exam 3 times. The first time he failed math. He scored 1 point out of 120. The second time he failed again. His father told him to give up to learn a trade, but Jack refused. He studied obsessively, and the third time he passed. After college, he applied for 30 different jobs. He was rejected by all of them. He applied to Harvard 10 times, rejected every single time. He applied to KFC. 24 people applied. 23 were accepted. Jack Ma was the only one rejected. If that had been you, would you have kept going? Most people would have given up, but Jack Ma did not give up. He taught English for starvation wages. He discovered the internet in 1995 when almost no one in China had heard of it. He did not know how to type. He did not know how to code, but he saw something. He believed. He gathered 17 friends in his apartment, told them his vision of an internet company connecting Chinese businesses to the world, and asked for money. They did not understand. They were skeptical, but they gave him what they could. For the first 3 years, Alibaba made almost no money. For the first 3 years, Jack Ma's own employees doubted him. For the first 3 years, he went home every night to his tiny apartment, exhausted, scared, wondering if he had made a terrible mistake. He once said, "If you do not give up, you still have a chance. If you give up, the great chance is gone." Today, Alibaba is worth over $500 billion. Jack Ma is one of the most successful entrepreneurs in history, but the path was not a straight line. It was a jagged line of failure, rejection, humiliation, and doubt. Success is not about never failing. It is about failing forward. It is about refusing to let rejection write your story. The story of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is one of the most successful entrepreneurs in history. He co-founded PayPal and sold it for $1.5 billion. He founded Tesla, which revolutionized electric cars and became the most valuable car company in the world. He founded SpaceX, which achieved what only 3 nations had achieved, launching a rocket into orbit, docking with the International Space Station, and landing a rocket vertically. But the path was not smooth. In 2008, both Tesla and SpaceX were on the brink of failure. Tesla had missed production deadlines and was running out of money. SpaceX had failed 3 rocket launches. If the 4th launch failed, SpaceX would go bankrupt. If Tesla did not get a loan, it would go bankrupt. Musk had invested all his money into both companies. He was sleeping on a friend's couch. He was borrowing money to pay rent. He said, "I felt like a corpse being propped up." But the 4th SpaceX launch succeeded. Tesla got the loan. Both companies survived. Today, they are worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Musk's secret is that he does not give up. He said, "If something is important enough, you should try, even if the probable outcome is failure." Persistence is the ultimate superpower. The story of Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey was born into poverty in rural Mississippi. She was abused as a child. She ran away from home at 13. She got pregnant at 14. Her son died in infancy. She got her first job in television as a co-anchor. She was fired because the producers said she was too emotionally involved in her stories. She was told she was unfit for television. But she did not give up. She took over a low-rated talk show in Chicago. Within a year, it went from last place to first place. The Oprah Winfrey Show became the highest-rated talk show in history, running for 25 years. Oprah became a billionaire, a philanthropist, and one of the most influential people in the world. She said, "Think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is just another stepping stone to greatness." Your past does not determine your future. Only your choices do. The final truth. Visual you looking directly at camera. Slow, deliberate, powerful. Host. We have traveled through the science and soul of success. We have learned from the greatest success stories of our time. We have deconstructed the myths, the mindsets, the habits, and the strategies that separate those who dream from those who do. But here is the most important lesson of all. None of this matters if you do not act. Knowledge without action is useless. Plans without execution are worthless. Dreams without work are just fantasy. You have everything you need to begin. Not everything you want. Not everything you will have. But everything you need to take the first step. The path will be hard. You will fail. You will be rejected. You will doubt yourself. You will want to give up. That is normal. That is the path. That is the price of admission. But if you keep going, if you learn from every failure, if you get back up every time you fall, if you work harder than anyone, if you never stop learning, if you believe in yourself, if you help others along the way, then one day, not overnight, not magically, but one day you will look back and realize that you have become exactly who you wanted to be. The world is full of people who talk about success. The world is full of people who dream about success. The world is full of people who wish for success. You can be different. You can be the one who acts. You can be the one who persists. You can be the one who achieves. Jackma failed at everything and then built a $500 billion company. Elon Musk slept on a factory floor while his companies were dying and then revolutionized space travel and electric cars. Oprah was told she was unfit for television and then became the most influential media personality in the world. Colonel Sanders was rejected 1,009 times and then built a global empire at age 65. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers and then created a universe that inspired a generation. They are not special. They are not superhuman. They are ordinary people who refuse to give up. And so are you. So get started, take the first step, write the first page, make the first call, send the first email, launch the first version, fail, learn, and try again. Because the story of your success is not over. It never is. It is only beginning. If you want part 2 of this series focusing on advanced strategies for business, leadership, creativity, and wealth building, then hit that like button, subscribe to Only Truth Matters, and turn on the notification bell. Because the journey to success never ends, and I want to walk it with you. Until next time, question everything, take massive action, and never ever give up. This is Only Truth Matters. Goodbye.